What if the advice you've been hearing about quitting everything for 30 days is not only oversimplified, but actually working against you? Many people over 40 are quietly asking the same question. After years of habits, is there a reset button? Can taking a break suddenly repair everything? Or is that just another internet myth dressed up as health advice? Today, we're going to unpack what really happens inside your body, what science actually suggests, and why the approach most people take may be missing the bigger picture entirely, especially if you care about long-term vitality, hormone balance, and overall well-being. Let's start with the core concern. A lot of viewers have been asking whether taking a 1-month break after years of frequent activity can fix things, especially sperm quality, energy levels, or hormonal health. It's a fair question, and honestly, it reflects a deeper worry. Have I already done permanent damage? The short answer is no, but the longer answer is where things get interesting. Your body is not a machine that breaks permanently from habits like this. It's adaptive, constantly adjusting, and capable of recovery, but only when you work with it, not against it. Now here's where most people get misled. Trends like No Nut November sound structured, disciplined, even scientific, but they're often misunderstood. Completely stopping for 30 days might sound like a reset, but your body doesn't operate in such rigid on-off cycles. Especially as you age, your system prefers consistency over extremes. Going from high frequency to zero overnight can actually create stress, both physically and mentally. And stress, as many of you already know, is one of the biggest enemies of hormonal balance, sleep quality, and overall health. Think about it this way. If someone told you to stop eating entirely for a month to reset your metabolism, you'd immediately see the flaw. The same logic applies here. Sudden deprivation doesn't train your body, it shocks it. What works far better, especially for men over 40 or 50, is gradual adjustment. If your frequency has been high, the smarter move is to slowly reduce it over time. This allows your system to recalibrate naturally, without triggering unnecessary stress responses or mental frustration that often leads to relapse. Here's a practical approach that aligns better with how your body actually functions. If you've been engaging once or twice daily, don't aim for zero overnight. Instead, step it down, perhaps to every other day, then a few times a week. This gradual reduction helps your body stabilize hormone production and improves overall control without creating that internal pressure buildup. Over time, your system adapts, your mind feels less restricted, and you're far more likely to maintain a healthier balance that actually sticks long term. Now let's address one of the biggest myths directly: the idea that stopping completely for a month will dramatically improve sperm quality or repair damage. The truth is, sperm production is an ongoing process. Your body continuously creates new sperm, and quality is influenced by a wide range of factors: nutrition, sleep, stress levels, age, and overall health. Simply stopping for 30 days doesn't override those factors. In fact, extremely long gaps can sometimes lead to older sperm being retained, which doesn't necessarily improve quality. This is where a more holistic view becomes essential. If you're truly focused on improving reproductive health or vitality, your attention should shift toward what supports your body daily. That includes proper nutrition, maintaining a healthy weight, staying physically active, and managing stress. These are the real drivers behind hormonal health and recovery. Short-term experiments might feel satisfying, but long-term consistency is what actually produces measurable, lasting results, especially as your body's natural processes slow down with age. Let's talk about nutrients, because this is another area where many people either overlook the basics or jump straight into extremes. Vitamins and minerals like zinc, vitamin D, B12, and folic acid play a role in overall health and, indirectly, reproductive function. But here's the key point: supplements are not magic solutions. They support your body, they don't override poor lifestyle habits. If your sleep is irregular, your stress is high, and your diet is inconsistent, no supplement stack is going to fully compensate for that imbalance. That said, for men over 40, ensuring you're not deficient in essential nutrients can make a noticeable difference in energy levels and general well-being. Many people at this stage of life experience subtle declines that aren't dramatic, but still impact daily performance. Addressing those through balanced nutrition, either through food or, if necessary, supplementation, can support your body's natural repair processes. But again, this works best when combined with gradual behavioural changes, not as a replacement for them. Another factor that often gets ignored in these discussions is mental health. Sudden restriction can create a sense of pressure or even guilt, especially if you break your goal before the 30 days are up. This cycle of strict control followed by frustration isn't helpful. It's counterproductive. A more flexible, realistic approach tends to reduce anxiety and helps you stay consistent. And consistency, not perfection, is what ultimately leads to better outcomes across the board. There's also a broader lifestyle context to consider. Many people asking these questions are juggling careers, family responsibilities, and the natural changes that come with aging. Energy levels shift, recovery takes longer, and stress becomes a bigger factor. In that environment, extreme approaches are harder to sustain. What works better is integrating small, manageable changes into your daily routine, things that don't disrupt your life, but gradually improve how your body functions over time. Let's bring it back to the idea of repair. The human body is constantly repairing itself. Cells regenerate, hormones fluctuate, systems adjust. But this process depends on the conditions you create. If you support your body with proper sleep, balanced nutrition, and moderate habits, repair happens naturally. If those foundations are missing, no short-term challenge is going to fix the underlying issue. This is why focusing on sustainable habits is far more effective than chasing quick fixes or viral trends. Now, here's something worth thinking about. Why do these 1-month challenges feel so appealing in the first place? Because they offer a clear beginning and end, a sense of control. But real health doesn't operate on a 30-day cycle. It's an ongoing process. The sooner you shift your mindset from fixing everything quickly to improving gradually, the more control you actually gain over your long-term outcomes. That's where real confidence comes from, not from temporary discipline, but from lasting balance. If your goal is to feel better, perform better, and maintain your health as you age, then your strategy needs to reflect that. Gradual reduction, consistent lifestyle improvements, and realistic expectations will always outperform extreme, short-term experiments. This doesn't mean discipline isn't important, it absolutely is. But discipline applied in a sustainable way is far more powerful than discipline that burns out after a few weeks. Another important point: your body's response is highly individual. What works for one person might not work the same way for another. Age, medical history, stress levels, and lifestyle all play a role. That's why it's important to observe how your own body responds rather than blindly following general advice. Pay attention to your energy levels, your mood, your sleep, and your overall sense of well-being. These signals often tell you far more than any trend ever could. So if you're considering a complete stop for a month, ask yourself this: is it coming from a place of understanding or from a belief that something is broken and needs a quick fix? Because the latter mindset often leads to disappointment. Your body isn't broken, it's responsive. And when you treat it with consistency and care, it responds in ways that no short-term challenge can replicate. Over time, as you gradually adjust your habits and support your health, you may notice improvements that go beyond what you initially expected: better focus, more stable energy, improved mood, and a stronger sense of control. These are the real indicators that you're on the right track. Not just one metric, not just 1 month, but a broader, more sustainable shift in how your body and mind operate together. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to follow a trend, It's to build a lifestyle that supports you for the long run. Especially for those of you in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, the focus should be on maintaining strength, clarity, and resilience. That requires a different approach than what you might have followed in your younger years. It requires patience, consistency, and a willingness to move away from all or nothing thinking. So now the question comes back to you. What matters more? A quick experiment that may or may not deliver results, or a steady approach that builds real, lasting improvement over time? The answer might seem obvious, but the real challenge is committing to it. Because the path that works is often less dramatic, but far more effective. Before you go, take a moment to reflect. What's one small change you can start today that moves you toward better balance? Not something extreme, not something temporary, just one realistic step. And if this conversation sparked a new perspective for you, consider sharing it with someone who might be asking the same questions quietly. Because sometimes the most valuable advice isn't the loudest, it's the one that actually holds up over time.